McCarty and the golden voice of Neal Ruhl. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. My guy, Jeff Iafrate, in for Darren McCarty today. D-Mac is on his way up to Grand Rapids. He's throwing the first pitch out tonight for the West Michigan Whitecaps game. And Jeff, I laid down the gauntlet to him. I said, look, Darren McCarty, four-time Stanley Cup champion. Do you have the guts to drop down and try to throw it submarine style? And what'd he say, Jeff?
He said he's going to play it safe. And also, you called your shot too, Neal. You said it the same day on the show. You did say, this is what I'm going to do, and you went and did it. That deserves something. That deserves something.
No, absolutely. I think it does. He doesn't have the guts to do it, but that's fine. He's accomplished enough in his career,
we'll
so I think that he is safe. We got Sam Flannel here in the house. We got Spencer Raxter. The usual suspects are here. We are ready to rock. Sam Flannel, we're taking calls today in the second hour.
Hey,
open phone lines.
I'm ready though, but I'm the one who's going to be screening you, so don't be an idiot. But I respect our audience, and I think we have a lot of smart people. So I look forward to hearing from all of you. And if I approve, you will be on air.
If he approves.
Wow. You got to get past Sam.
Yeah. If somehow you can get yourself to do enough mental gymnastics to work your way around Sam Flannel, you'll get on air. I like your chances, everybody. So, no, we're gonna chop it up today. We're going to have a good time. Stephen Carroll, the captain of Detroit City FC, will join us coming up in about 12 minutes from now. We will chop it up. The longest tenured captain currently in Detroit sports right now. Let that sink in for a couple of minutes. Detroit City FC doing some big things. They're third in the Eastern Conference in the USL standings, and not a lot of people expected a lot from them. But, oh, look, here they are. The Tigers, they're winners of one in a row after a win last night. Tarek Skubal doing the job, Jeff Iafrate.
This is the way you said that. Winners of one in a row. And I'll say this, over the last 10, they're 6-4. But one thing I got to bring up, and this is an interesting question, the morning show brought it up actually, is A.J. Hinch. And I know as of late, especially yesterday, Tarek Skubal back on the mound, they looked pretty damn good. But I want to ask you guys a question, and we kind of talked about it before the show. A.J. Hinch. We know the Los Angeles Angels, and we know how they value it in terms of ownership. Marino has deep pockets. Do you think A.J. Hinch going to the Angels? Should we book it? What's your worry level 1 through 10? You got to give me a number.
Real quick, and I won't spend a lot of time on this because nobody here cares. But as far as the LA Angels go, I've always wondered about them. Like, just in terms of, they're a big market team, right? Like, our gut says they're a big market team, being there in Los Angeles and stuff like that. But, they got a big payroll, but they never win anything, ever. And, for like as great as Mike Trout is, what has the Mike Trout teams accomplished? For real, like what have they accomplished? And I wonder about that. They have Shohei as well. I mean, they have all these stars, but they never win. So I'm kind of conflicted with that, in that, does Artie Moreno think that they're a manager away? Is that the problem for them? Is it a manager?
It's probably deeper than that.
It's got to be deeper than that, right? It has to be. I would say, I don't know what it is with them. So, but I would imagine on the flip side of that coin, it doesn't hurt. Right. So, yeah, and it's funny because D-Mac yesterday, when that news broke, he was the first one to text. He's like, A.J. Hinch, man, he's got an out now. He's got an out to go manage the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And, it's one of those things where if he decides that's what the issue is, then it's very, very real. What are you going to stay here?
if Alavila's gone, I think that entices him. You got to sell something to AJ. Like you got to sell a product to him, and if that means getting rid of Alavila, and we know how Adam Beydoun feels about that, and I feel the same exact way. That's got to be the first step, and showing him that there's something you can build on. I mean, this season you're 4th in the AL Central, and it's not like what everybody expected, but certainly he is the bright shining star in this very, very dark room. I'll say that.
Yeah, Detroit Dabber on our YouTube chat. Though remember, you can get involved as well. Just slide on over there, get your thoughts on the show, the topic. Sometimes we'll let you guys program the show. Second hour, we're opening up those phone lines as we said. So everybody get ready. I don't know how this is going to go, but the people have spoken. They said they want to have the ability to call in. So we'll give it a spin, and we'll see where we're at. Again, you have to do the unthinkable and outwit Sam Flannel. to work your way onto the air. So we'll see if people are able to, in fact, do that. I mean, the guy's wearing a flannel for 365 consecutive days. Yeah. How big of a challenge is that to outwit him?
That's mental adversity right there. He checks all the boxes.
Yeah. No, it does. No, but it is going to be a lot of fun. And, I want to know. And Chuck Brewer says, so are they a good manager away from winning? I don't think so. Like, for real, I don't think so. But I don't know what the problem is because they got stars. Right. Ohtani's a star. He's an MVP. He's a unicorn that baseball hasn't seen. Now, granted, I think that hurts Ohtani. I think that hurts Trout, that they're in Los Angeles. The games are on at 10:10 every single night, so nobody watches them. Yeah. I'll watch the first couple innings, then I tap out.
Right.
And that's me. Like, I'm a degenerate. Like, I don't watch shows or movies or things like that. So, Chuck, I don't know the answer to that question. I'm leaning no. I'm leaning that it's a structural problem.
And I think from A.J. Hinch's perspective, I mean, from a guy who knows his own ability, came to Detroit feeling like he could fix this situation. And we always wonder what's going on with the Angels, but don't you think he has that same confidence? Like, listen, I can maybe come here and change things, and at least I'll have a better, like you said, you mentioned Trout and Ohtani. That's a better starting piece than whatever he's walking into at Detroit. So it's definitely more enticing. I just don't know how likely it is going to happen. But as a Tigers fan, you got to be worried a little bit.
Shohei Ohtani, who's making $5.5 million this year.
Neal, you love it.
$5.5 million. And they still can't do anything.
I know.
Would you rather have Shohei Ohtani at $5.5 million or Tua Tagovailoa at $3 million?
And are we comparing this Lions team and this Tigers team?
Yeah.
I'd rather have Tua.
You're high.
I'd rather have Tua.
You are on drugs. Come on. You're lying. Stop lying to the people.
Spence set him up for that one. He knew the answer.
I would rather have Tua.
He knew the answer.
Because, what's Shohei going to do for this team?
Be an MVP. That's it.
Okay.
He's
how did that work out for the Angels? How did that work out for the Angels?
Not great, but I think he'd bring a lot more to the Tigers than Tua would to the Lions.
You have to pay him next year, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
You have to pay him next year.
But you don't have a salary cap, so you could just throw...
And if anything, you don't have a salary cap. You're right. And I think that Chris Ilitch, if he's proven anything, it's that he's going to win at all costs, right?
That he'll just throw some money in.
100%.
If you're going to throw money at somebody, it should be the guy that can get you 20 wins on the mound and 40 home runs on the box,
I mean, he's going to go in the club and make it rain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what would be the point? What would be the point of wasting Ohtani when I can have a $3 million quarterback?
I mean, Ohtani is respectfully, comparing their sports significantly better than Tua.
But there's no question. But you need to look at the context of everything. What's Ohtani going to do here?
What's up?
What's Ohtani going to do here? How is Chris Ilitch going to surround him?
He's going to surround him with the Castros, and he's, we're going to get Victor Reyes back eventually. So, there's a guy can't miss on that. Or we could ship Ohtani and get a bunch of prospects that won't work out.
Yeah, that's proven.
That's
maybe get a couple more.
Get your dad's Camerons.
Yeah. No, it's just, and I know that you guys are going to rush and say that's an absurd statement, just like you did right there. But when we talk it through, do I make more sense now that we've talked it through a little bit? Does it make more sense? Do you understand my position more?
Not really.
You're gonna have to pay Tua as well. I feel like eventually.
Not as much as you're gonna have to pay Shohei,
you're gonna have to. But again, you brought up the cap space, and I think that's an integral part of this. But I'd probably stick with Ohtani, but that's just me. I respect it though. Yeah. I respect it.
Yeah. Rob J says Trout is being wasted like Barry Sanders was here, and yes, there is a degree to that.
Yeah.
I never understood it with the Angels, but I guess again, we're not breaking down the LA Angels here. That's not good for viewership. Nobody wants that. Nobody needs that.
No.
It's just something where, we need to consider that with the whole A.J. Hinch scenario where he's not locked up long term. He's what through this year, right?
Yeah, he can opt out.
He can opt out. So I mean, it's keep an eye on that. What do you think the level, Jeff, if he dipped? Oh God. If it just went total nuclear winter here, like it looks like it's going to, it looks like it's trending outside of Tarek Skubal. Unfortunately, Skubal can't pitch every day. What if it went nuclear here and he just said, just like chuck the deuces up, man, and pieced out of here?
I mean, the panic button would be smashed at this point. Yeah, I mean, we talk about Al Avila and the hatred you have for the job he's done and the inept ability to get anybody and have anybody in your farm to come up and save this sinking ship. But if A.J. Hinch were to leave, my God, you bring up I think the pitchforks are coming out at this point, because we can sit here and crap on Al Avila every single day, but if you don't have A.J. Hinch, that's always the caveat. It's like we could crap on Al Avila, but we have A.J. Hinch. If you don't have A.J. Hinch, what are we doing? I guess we're outside Al Avila's house with a mob, angry mob at this point.
Right. So, I mean,
that's how we're doing it.
Because
there's nothing left. You got nothing left.
What's left?
To blame, especially. I mean, the blame game only goes to Al Avila at that point.
Right. And I wonder, man, that would be an ugly scene, guys. Sam Flannel, could you imagine that if he pieced out?
And what's even worse is the fact that the Tigers were literally gifted A.J. Hinch because he was a pariah from his time with the cheating scandal in Houston. And he was also, like, he was last year seen as one of the reasons why a very subpar team won 77 games. He was a gift to the Tigers. And if he all of a sudden up and leaves, the Tigers would have wasted a gift that you will never get at any other time for like a reason like that. Never. I can't even imagine.
And maybe that's where it is too with the whole A.J. Hinch factor, like with the Angels. Is it fair? Is the following statement fair? I believe your baseball team is 5 to 7 wins better with A.J. Hinch as your manager. Like if they had a manager war, I think that A.J. Hinch would be a plus 5 to 7 versus your average manager in baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Is that fair?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Don Kelly for manager of the Tigers. He can be a player, manager, GM. Jackie Moon.
Jackie Moon.
Yeah. Rack says, my bad. I came back to my desk halfway through that. Thought you were saying differently.
Okay, no. Rack, that was Neal. Neal said he'd rather have Tua.
Yeah. Because what is Ohtani going to do here? Because you guys got to remember, too, next year he's got to be paid. And there seems, again, I'll go back to it. Somebody, and I forget who it was, says, how many Alabama quarterbacks have to bust before you see a trend? I wish my quarterback busted to the tune of over 60% of the games he starts, he wins.
Oh, pause.
I mean, honestly, you got a point. But again, it's hard to compare, especially Tua and Shohei Ohtani. In two sports, one has a cap space, one doesn't. Two different players. One's a franchise quarterback, and you understand how much a franchise quarterback, especially if you can win games, affects your ball club. So I get the Tua argument, but I'm rolling with Shohei.
Okay, cool, man.
Can't hate. I don't hate on your Tua take. I mean, especially your evidence you bring up. I just think everyone has personal favorites. I could tell you love Tua. You love Tua a lot. That's your guy.
He's this Malik Willis.
It's your Malik Willis.
And here's the thing too. Until the circumstances change to where I don't love him anymore.
Yeah.
And once you get north of $45 million, a la Lamar Jackson will be, I cease to love you then.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think Tua will get that kind of contract, though, because Lamar Jackson already has MVP. He's gotten to the playoffs multiple times. He's won a playoff game.
Well, the book, we're not to that stop on the highway yet with Tua. Like this year will, and I knew we were gonna. It always evolves into a Tua conversation for some reason.
It always goes back.
I don't understand it, but Chuck Brewer says Neal has a man crush.
I have man crushes on cheap quarterbacks too. You can give me a cheap quarterback, I'll take it. That just frees up everything else. You can go get a Tyreek Hill.
Are you one of the Blough guys, or
no? I'm not a Blough
Speaking of that, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, cheap quarterbacks.
Because in about 15 minutes, We're going to talk about this David Blough phenomenon.
We got to address it.
We do. But before we do that, when we come back, we'll be joined by Stephen Carroll, Detroit City FC. It is a City Wednesday, right after Jeff Iafrate tells you how his hair stays so luscious.
And listen, I am wearing a hat today, but it doesn't change the fact that Lady Jane's takes care of me. As you guys know, we broadcast this show live from the headquarters of Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, and I can recommend you get off the air, you sit in one of these comfy chairs, ladies will take care of you. You get to watch your favorite sports teams, and when you're walking out, you'll feel like a king. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week, walk in anytime, because it's wicked awesome.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Jeff Iafrate in for D-Mac today. He's throwing out the first pitch at the West Michigan Whitecaps game, but is too big of a coward to go down and do it submarine style. But I digress. It is a City Wednesday edition of Big D Energy, and we welcome in the captain. He is Stephen Carroll of Detroit City FC. Steve, appreciate your time as always, my friend. And I know it had to be weird over the last couple days. You guys had some time off, man. You didn't have like 3 matches in a week or anything like that. What'd you do with the time off, man?
Yeah, we had a tough schedule up until about last week. But yeah, we just kind of relaxed, get the legs up. You know, it was I also had my wedding in between that schedule, so it was like try to get some time for myself and my new wife. So we just kind of chilled and took it all in, because you don't get a lot of time off when you're in season, so just try to take advantage of the relaxation part of it, really.
And Stephen, that's a great segue, because I did want to ask you about that. I mean, in between time, you did get married as well. So how's the married life so far?
Yeah, same but different. Realistically, there's not much to change, really. I do have to give her a shout out though, because it's her birthday today, so happy birthday, Aunt Dula. Hopefully she's watching it upstairs or something. But yeah, I'd say it's good. It was a long time coming, I feel like. So the wedding was great. Everything went according to plan. So yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, number one, Stephen. But obviously, you're the longest tenured captain in Detroit sports. And I wanted to ask, as the captain, are you guys right where you want to be as a team? Or you think is there another level you feel like you could take it with everybody?
I mean, at this part of the season, we've definitely exceeded expectations for our first year in this league. So pretty happy where we are, but we dropped some points throughout the first part of the season so far that we're not really happy with. We could be higher up, I feel like, but that's just football for you, soccer for you. So it's we're pretty happy where we are, but we can definitely push on. I know it's a long season left in it, so we just got to keep chugging along, getting the results, I feel like.
Stephen Carroll here, our guest on City Wednesday, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. As Jeff Iafrate said, the longest tenured captain in Detroit sports. Steve, what about that? Because when I bring that up on the air, when I put that out on Twitter, those kinds of things, and you've been here for a while now, so you know what the sports culture here is in this town. You go to the Red Wings games, you go to the Pistons games, and all that stuff also. Does that mean even more to you as time goes on when somebody says that that you're the captain, the longest tenured captain in Detroit sports, especially given the history of what that's meant here in this city?
Yeah, it's obviously a cool stat and a cool kind of record to hold for now anyway. But yeah, I enjoy it. Obviously the longer it goes on and stuff like that, the more it kind of sinks in and realize what it actually means to the city of Detroit. But I love it. I love it here. I love Detroit, so I'm pretty proud of that stat right now.
Detroit City FC in action this Saturday night. They'll be hosting Sacramento Republic. That's a big-time battle for them. City has claimed points in 4 of the last 5 matches. Won a couple of those. Are sitting in 3rd place in the Eastern Conference standings. And, Steve, as you talked about the expectations and how you guys, I think, had those expectations, knowing, being around you guys and calling the matches for TV and stuff like that, knowing how you guys operate. But I think in the outside soccer world, in American soccer, not just USL circles, there was a lot of doubt that was cast on Detroit City FC, and not a lot of people expected you guys to be where you are right now. I mean, this isn't a trend anymore, Steve. This isn't a cute story. We're more than a third of the way through the season. Do you feel as though, kind of backing up to Jeff's question, do you feel as though you guys will have to kick it into another gear, I guess you could say, as things get even more real?
We're trying to keep this standard as long as we possibly can. I know we have a couple of injuries right now in our squad, so it's kind of hurting us because it's a long season. There's a lot of games in it, so we kind of need to get them back as soon as possible. But I feel like as we said before, no one expected us to do this well, but we expected ourselves as a team, being together for a while now, and we expected us to do well because we know how good individually we are, and as a team together we are. But it's a long season. We're not kind of used to that right now, but I feel like we can push on. I feel like we can do a bit more towards the end of the season. So it's going to be interesting, but you can't really predict soccer like that. So hopefully it just continues on.
Steve, we were talking about that match this weekend against Sacramento Republic. Again, get tickets at deadcityfc.com. Get out there to Keyworth if you haven't been out there as of yet. And I know you don't care about next weekend. You care about this weekend. But I'm talking about more of the principle of the matter. Next Saturday, El Paso will be in town, a game that's been picked up by ESPN Television, ESPN Linear Television. This, for those that don't know, I mean, this is a very big moment, right? That ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, they want to come to Keyworth. They want to feature everything, the circumstances, everything that goes in and around a match at Keyworth Stadium. I mean, we talk about what you guys have done on the field or on the pitch. What about this organization, man, in that how fast this has all come to be, where you guys are playing well in the USL, where ESPN wants to feature you guys nationally across the country and across the world on their network. I mean, it is amazing. When you take a step back, isn't it amazing what this club has pulled off in such a short amount of time?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, my first year here, was 2017 with Detroit. This what we're doing now and what we were doing back then was just like everything just changed overnight, basically. As soon as Trevor kind of came in, signed that coach, you got to go to the next level when you sign a coach like that. But as a club and organization, it's kind of mental because we're getting so much attention now being in this league and doing so well on and off the field that like we're getting so much traction online. We're getting so much traction with the TV and stuff like that. You just kind of have to take it as it comes, I suppose. This is what we expected. This is what we kind of wanted as a club and an organization that hit the ground running and pick up all the attention as you can. So it's a huge game. I know it's El Paso. It's at 12 o'clock midday. Hopefully it's not too hot, but it's ESPN. Everyone in the world can see it now. So just so proud that this club got to this level so quickly, and hopefully it just pushes on from then.
I wanted to shift the conversation over to the fans, and I want to ask you about the one and only, the Northern Guard. And I know you're obviously very familiar with them, and everybody here at Woodward Sports that has went out and attended a game comes back, and the one thing that everybody has in common is the environment and how electric it is. And for you, how does it feel having that 12th man out on the field, especially when you're in a situation where your team's facing adversity? What does that mean to you guys?
It means the world, really, because a prime example is when we played Columbus Crew in the Open Cup. We were 1-0 down, but at the time it could have went south real quick because they're the MLS team. They're the team that's supposed to win and supposed to have big time players and stuff like that. But I feel like the atmosphere in the stadium kind of didn't leave us drop our heads, and then we went on, pushed on, and we won 2-1. At the end of it, but I couldn't hear any of my teammates on the field. But because it was so loud, so much smoke, so much like noise, that it was tough for me to hear and communicate. I can only imagine how the Columbus Crew players felt, just getting abused and like just trying to hinder their performance as much as possible. But the fact that they pushed us through that moment where we could easily just given up, we're not expected to win, and they pushed us through. We won 2-1 at the end of it. That was the most like prime example I can give you in this kind of season, that the 12th man really does help, and Northern Guard pulled through every time for us.
All right, Stephen, I have to ask you this, my friend, and again, happy birthday to the newly minted Mrs. Carroll as well. I got some tips for you. I'm almost 20 years in the marriage game, Stephen, so I got this one for you right now. Let me ask you this question. The dishwasher, okay? Are you when you put dishes in a dishwasher, do you stack them kind of symmetrically and line the bowls up and stuff like that? Do you do it that way, or do you just kind of put them wherever they are, and then when it's full, you run it? How do you handle that? This is key.
I just try to make as much as possible fit in there. So whichever way it kind of works out, it could be stacked, it could be just thrown everywhere. But if whatever's in the sink is getting in that dishwasher, I don't care what happens, and I turn it on and leave it. And, the rest is not up to me anymore. So,
all right, Steve, let me give you a little piece of advice, okay?
Yeah.
It has to be symmetrically lined up, okay? And I'm talking like aesthetically pleasing. It has to all be symmetrically lined up. And if you have to sacrifice a couple dishes not getting in there, that's fine, because when she opens that dishwasher, if they're not all lined up perfectly, there's going to be problems, my friend. Just trust me on this one, okay? This is free advice.
Yeah. I'll let you know one thing though. In our house, in this household anyway, if you start something like the washing, the clothes washing or dishwasher, it's your responsibility to finish it. So she won't touch it for weeks and weeks if I don't empty it after I start it, kind of situation. So, I'm just trying to get in and out, get the job done. But she won't touch it as soon as I start filling it. So. It's an ongoing argument that if she has the time to do it, she still won't do it if I start it. So we're just trying to work out the kinks right now.
No, and it's new, Steve. Yeah. Steve, look, it's new right now, and that's fine. And you guys will have these discussions and everything like that, and that'll be ongoing. But in the end, Steve, she will win. She will win, and you will do things the way that she wants you to do them. So you need to just trust me on this. You're in still like the honeymoon phase and all that kind of stuff, but in the end, she will win. So mentally prepare yourself, my friend, all right?
Oh, yeah. I know. She's already hounding for a boat for the summers in Michigan, and I'm telling her, no. But I can guarantee it, she's going to win eventually. She's going to win.
See, your mindset's there already. It's gonna work, my friend. It's like you out there on the pitch. It's just gonna work because it always does. Steve, appreciate you sliding through here on City Wednesday. We'll catch up again. All right.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right. Stephen Carroll, the longest tenured captain in Detroit City sports of Detroit City FC. I'm just trying to help the guy out.
Oh, how nice of you, Neal. Just giving out free advice. And I was taking notes while you were talking. I can't even lie to you.
Clomp Sauce wanted to tell Stephen Carroll, don't fold like Neal. No, it's not folding. It's accepting, it's the way the ball lies on the ground. You got to play it as it lies.
I feel like it's compromise in a way.
It's total defeat. Like, but that's fine.
All right. Well, however you take it.
That's fine, So, it's one of those things. Chuck says, better hope she isn't watching right now. No, Chuck, she knows. Yeah, they all know.
Yeah, it's a given.
My wife knows. Sam Flannel, you're going to be married soon.
Yes.
That's free advice. I was speaking to you too.
Oh, well, I appreciate. I didn't have to pay for that.
No,
no.
If my marriage lasts, I have you to thank, Neal.
Oh, gosh. Rack says we need to have a segment with Mrs. Ruhl. No, we don't.
The rule maker.
Yeah, no, we really don't. Chuck calls anyone who says otherwise isn't married. The wife always wins in the end. So,
very true.
Sam Flannel, you guys, all you young bucks around here at Woodward, just remember that, okay?
I got it. It's drilled in my noggin at this point.
Let me tell you what, Stephen Carroll, dude, he's a great dude.
Yeah, he is.
Great guy. Just I love talking to him. I had the good fortune to have a pint with him before. Wow. Great conversation. Love that guy, Detroit City FC. If you haven't been out there yet, guys, look, we've pleaded it the whole time. If you haven't been out there yet, do it. And next Saturday at noon, Detroit City FC El Paso, that place is going to be electric. electric. So make sure you are out there. You can get Cintron when you're out there, as a matter of fact, because Cintron is a proud partner with Detroit City FC, and the summer of Cintron is here, and it's now available at your local Kroger store. Cintron, proud partners with the Detroit Pistons, the Detroit Red Wings, Detroit City FC, as we said as well. It's the new energy drink for the active lifestyle all summer long. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Neal Ruhl here for the Monroe Street Midway. And yes, it's true. Bedrock and Rocket Mortgage have turned an old parking lot into a massive outdoor playground right next to Campus Martius. Roller skating, basketball courts, a mini golf course, food trucks, live music performances. There's art installations as well. Get some culture while you're down there. I know I need that in my life. It's a fun place to visit, whether you're on a date with the family, hanging out before a Tigers game. Maybe you take your newlywed wife down there, your fiance, Sam Flannel. Maybe you'll run into Ben Wallace down there. Who knows? They've even got Wi-Fi so you can bring your computer and work in the heart of the city. It's the Monroe Street Midway next to Campus Martius in downtown Detroit. Pull up on it. Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Jeff Iafrate in for D-Mac. We got Spencer Raxter, Sam Flannel, the away fan on a YouTube chat thread. I hope Ben Wallace shows up to Sam Flannel's wedding. Have you extended the invitation?
I have not, but that would actually be pretty cool to have Ben Wallace at my wedding. The thing is,
why?
Well,
why would you want an overrated basketball player at your wedding? Your words.
The question is, would you keep the same energy?
No.
Yeah.
He'd cave.
I would not cave. I have already admitted on Twitter that a Ben Wallace punch would kill me. And my last words as I were dying were, "You're a terrible offensive player. You did not shut down Shaq in the finals."
Jesus Christ.
All right, do the kid a favor, man. Can we control his audio?
I can't. He has all control.
Oh, he does. He's the audio guy. That is true.
He's in the war room. Yeah.
No, but Coquet says, "Okay, honey, is all you need to learn." Stephen Carroll, newlywed wedding advice, pouring in right here. Southpaw Lab says, quote, "Yes, dear," end quote. Ryan's reaction says, "Marriage is dope, in my opinion." It is cool. Like, it does. It has its benefits to it. There is no question. My wife never watches the show, though, so she'll never know what we're talking about, I guess. We should hook that up, though. Have my wife come on. That would be pretty
good.
fun.
That would be
a good
fun.
segment. Rule on rule. That'd be a good segment.
Yeah, that would be funny. Chuck Brewer says, "Sam, just stop." Yeah. Where did Sam go? I think he just got fired, didn't he?
I think they got rid of him.
Okay.
That quick. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Detroit Lions talk. And look, let's be real about it, guys. That's what the people want.
That's what they need.
We always have to mix in some Lions talk. And through that, you're going to get stories that surface, right? And between now and the first exhibition games, August, whatever it is,
yep.
The Hall of Fame games in July. Somebody also brought up, Detroit City FC has more games on ESPN this year than the Lions do.
Oh.
Which is a factual statement.
It is a factual statement. No lies.
Yeah, a no lies told. I'm just saying. But through all that, every possible angle between now and then, Jeff, will be covered.
Yeah.
On this show, we'll get to a lot of stuff. There'll be hypothetical discussions. My favorite will be the training camp tales.
Oh, yeah.
And who looks great, who's in the best shape of their life. Jeff. You know these storylines that are out there. But this, tweeted by Jeremy Reisman, Lions did a ton of red zone work today, and David Blough was on fire. This is where I draw the line, everybody. Okay? I don't need the David Blough has arrived. The David Blough was on fire. The David Blough engineered a 3-play, 81-yard drive that resulted in a touchdown strike. No. I don't need that. I'm not participating in it. I'm no longer calling attention to it. I am just moving on. And look, you guys know I am as in on Brad Holmes and the Detroit Lions as anybody. I'm calling for a playoff win during his tenure. I 1,000% believe that in my heart. But I will not participate in David Blough was on fire tweets from organized team activities. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm not participating in it. I don't want to be involved because I don't want to hear it. Because it doesn't matter, number one. And number two, I think we have the sample size to draw our own conclusions on him. Sure, he's a great guy, everything like that. But if David Blough is under center for you during the Detroit Lions season, the season's not going your way. Is that a fair assessment? That's not a hot take, is it?
No, it's not.
It was a hot take.
Tell him to clip it.
Yeah, tell him to clip it. No, and I get what, especially Jerry Reisman, you're reporting on what you see. David Blough looks good. I get that. But again, this isn't news to me. Like, I get in the city of Detroit, we, in a way, like last year, whether it's Tim Boyle or, David Blough in this instance, we're ready for the backup. And partially of that, and Spencer can speak on this, is the hatred a little bit that people have for Jared Goff. It is. Because at the same time, if Matthew Stafford's here, I'm not trying to bring him up, but I'm bringing him up, you know who's the starter. In this instance, Jared Goff's the starter, but everybody feels like there's a chance with David Blough or Tim Boyle, and he's basically solidifying himself as a backup. And I don't know how that's news. I really don't.
All I know is I remember, I don't know who it was, but I know one of our great listeners in the chat when we talked about David Blough a little while ago said that his best highlight in the NFL is him cheering on his girlfriend in the Olympics. And it really was. Like, that was the best moment of David Blough. And I don't want to hear it. Like you said, Neal, if David Blough is taking snaps in an actual game that means something,
you lose.
The season's over.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, that is it. Aaron Tackett, how could someone be on fire in practice without pads? Aaron, that's my point through all this. And look, I know that I'm getting worked up already, and we just had Memorial Day, and I got a long way to go. I understand that. And again, I'm prepared for the stormy seas. I am. I know how this is going to go. But this is the one. We're addressing it, and someone saying, talk about the thing that you don't want to talk about. Yes, because I'm putting it out there, guys, that this is not the stuff that we're here for. Because, again, I have enough sample size to know about David Blough. Sam Flannel, your thoughts?
I know sometimes I have some memory lapses, but does memory serve me right? Wasn't David Blough the man who could not beat out Tim Boyle last year for the backup job when Jared Goff was out for 3 games? And what did Tim Boyle do in those 3 games? 0-3, 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And I also got David Blough's stats pulled up for when he played 5 games in 2019. He was 0-5 as a starter. 0-5, 4 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He had a couple of flashy-looking highlights, I remember, but I don't want to hear about how David Blough is doing great in practice. If you want to tell me DeAndre Swift, if you want to tell me Aiden Hutchinson, if you want to tell me Amon-Ra, I'm like, great. But David Blough has shown nothing, and the fact that he is hyped up at all is a disgrace. An absolute disgrace.
Did you hear those first 2 people he led with? DeAndre Swift, Aiden Hutchinson, his 2 MVPs on offense and defense.
That was not by accident.
And those are the guys that I care about. Like that's the reporting I care about. Is in OTAs you're reporting on the Jeff Okudahs of the world or whoever. David Blough, what does that serve me? Like if he's in the game at any point this season, Jared Goff's injured, I'm assuming. You're not taking him out no matter how bad he's playing. And Tim Boyle or David Blough, if we're arguing either or, then what are we talking about at this point? I mean, this is the same team that multiple people have said this team can win 8 to 10 games, and we're over here obsessing over the backup quarterback. Can you name me the backup for the Rams? Can you name me the backup for the Ravens? Go.
Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, Tyler Huntley.
Okay, he's actually pretty good.
Shut up.
But that's my point. Like, who gives a rat's ass about David Blough? And that's the truth. It really is.
Would you take Tyler Huntley over Jared Goff?
Oh, God, don't get the... Oh, God. Tyler Huntley looked pretty damn good last year.
He did. Well.
Can't hate on Tyler Huntley, but this whole Jared Goff versus, everybody else conversation it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so, I mean, it is. And again, I just think that's a little early to go to that card. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a little early.
Yeah, it is.
You know, we're just getting started here for the David Blough's on fire tweets. But that just goes to show, again, though, guys, like this is what we're going to be up against. And again, I'll double back because I know this will get misconstrued anyway, and I'm sure somebody will put it out there on Twitter and said, you know, Neal hates David Blough and all that kind of stuff, which is not the case. Like, I believe in this organization because I'm seeing things I've never seen from them before, i.e. they value draft capital, i.e. they value salary cap space, i.e. they value cap-friendly contracts, things we've never seen. So it's going to take some getting used to here with Lions fans. I have a deep belief in the front office of this group right now, of this team. I believe in Brad Holmes that they'll deliver. It's just the media, man, like the David Blough stuff, dude.
And it's not about the fans. People talk about in the chat, you guys are the only people having this conversation. It's not about people having the conversation. It's about what's being reported. And if the news being reported is, top of the headline is David Blough.
No, and trust, like, we're not, I mean, I'm telling you, like, I'm not here for that. I don't think that I'm, quote, reporting this information.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing the opposite of that. But there are no news entities that are going with, they are reporting this stuff.
Yeah.
They're reporting it as content.
Yeah, and that's the problem we have. Like, the fact that this is being reported, that David Blough lit it up in the red zone in OTAs. Ooh, doesn't that get me excited for the Lions this upcoming season? I mean, come on, guys.
What's he going to do next? Light up the preseason? Oh, I can't wait for that.
Oh, God. I don't think anybody's ready for that, Sam, because if he lights up the preseason.
Because I've always said that. And you go back to last year when I first signed on here at Woodward. We were talking Lions season previews and stuff like that. And I think I was doing the show with Maz at the time, and he was talking about, don't you want to get a more established backup quarterback? I'm like, no, Maz, I don't. Because if your quarterback goes down, OVA, like Drake would say, OVA. Like, that's it. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
You're cooked, dude. If your starting quarterback gets hurt in this league, I don't address the backup. I don't care about the backup quarterback situation.
What about Sean Hill?
Oh, yeah, those were great
Sean
days.
Hill is the greatest backup quarterback of all time. Dude was a legend.
Yep.
Looked like he just chugged a beer, came in there, was slinging it. I loved Sean Hill.
And that's the other thing, too. And there's always one, right? There'll be one person here in a YouTube chat thread that says, well, what about this one time?
What about Nick Foles?
Yeah. What about this one time that the backup came in and did some stuff? They're like the Tom Brady I'll take a quarterback in the 6th round people. Like, the one time that it happened.
That's fair.
It's over. If your quarterback gets hurt, it's over. I'll never talk about the backup quarterback. I'll never be worked up about who they didn't sign as a backup quarterback.
Yeah,
never.
That doesn't matter to me. You don't go out there and hunt for a backup quarterback. It's a waste of money.
It's not news.
But more importantly, that is the best job in the history of the world is backup quarterback. You stand there with a clipboard and get paid millions of dollars.
Fans love you.
Detroit Dabber 313. We need David Blough talk like we need Neal quoting Drake, as in we don't. I don't know. I thought people liked it. I thought people liked when I drop bars.
I think you're good. You got some bars, man. I don't know.
Neal does got some bars.
Yeah,
I'll be in the back and I'll hear him too. It's flooded this place with bars.
Yeah, I guess I'm the guardian of a backup quarterback talk. I guess that's what it is.
Absolutely, and just like Guardian, we'll keep you safe. And Guardian Alarm keeps you safe and gives you a peace of mind. Whether you're at home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. That's important to people, and that's important to you. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT for peace of mind. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT
Stay out, David
right
Blough.
now, and let them know your friends at Woodward Sports sent you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Neal Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you can join the Pepper Club. Get your unlimited tanning on, and they'll beat all competitors' prices by at least $5. Chili Peppers Tanning. They have the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans. Go to chilipepperstanning.com. Find out which one of their 26 locations work best for you. It's Chili Peppers Tanning. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My guy, Jeff Iafrate, here in the building for D-Mac. He's throwing out the first pitch for the West Michigan Whitecaps game tonight. He's too big of a coward to drop down and go submarine style. He says he's going to be safe with it and throw it over the plate. Yeah. How are you going to strike out Javi Baez if you just throw it over the plate? You got to cut out of the zone to get him to swing at it. That's what I prefer to do. Jake Wegener brings up a good point. Maybe they shouldn't go 3 days between NBA Finals games, LOL. You know what, Jake? You're right, damn it. This is what we're reduced to.
They're milking it they're milking it bad. I mean, at this point.
Well, they're milking it. The Stanley Cup's not even in the finals yet.
Yeah, it's a good point. And that's the problem I have. This series, if it goes 7, what does it end? Father's Day? We got another 15 days left of this series if it goes 7. So,
are you serious?
Yeah.
I guess so. The math works out, right?
Yeah, I think it ends it could end the 19th or the 20th.
Because you have 2 more games minimum. Of Rangers and Lightning. By the way, D-Mac, he almost hit one out of the park last night with the Kucherov, the Stamkos, and the shutout.
He was on point.
He was on point.
And Adam tried to set up a parlay with it and missed only one part of it. I think it was the shutout.
Well, because I was texting, with D-Mac, and I was like, if it were me right now, if you did do this and it were me, I think I would hedge on the Rangers I would hedge on the Rangers scoring a goal because I believe it was plus money at about the 10-minute mark of the third period. So you take, if you're getting 15-1, you take 3 of that, and you put it on the Rangers to score a goal. You know what I'm saying? And then that way you get some sugar, even if they score or not.
Oh yeah.
That's how I would have done it. I'm not saying anything.
Not everyone could be as sharp as Neal.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just not. Coquet says Blough is going to be the preseason king.
Oh yeah.
Born cool. But for real, who's number 2 though? Blough or Boyle? 313.
Is that yeah, no.
Coming up, second hour of the show, we're going to open up the phone lines. That's right. Sam Flannel will be screening your call. So anything that you guys want to talk about, we'll open up the phone lines, and we will do it. We're going to give this a little test run, see if we want to make this phone call thing a regular portion of the show to involve everything. And, hey, it's one of those things where, am I talking about the thing that I say we're not going to talk about? Yes, I'm bringing attention to it and explaining how ridiculous it is.
Right.
And now we move on. So, hey, that's what it is. Aaron Tackett says, England screwed me over with their Harry Kane goal in the 88th minute. Ooh, sorry to hear that. Sorry about your luck there. I did want to talk about this because we've had this discussion. I know a lot of shows here at the network have had this discussion where if you're not getting David Blough 3-play, 81-yard drive tweets, you're going to get the obligatory Jeff Okudah tweet. Saw Jeff Okudah on the side on the bike. Saw Jeff Okudah cheering teammates on the sideline. Saw Jeff Okudah on the treadmill. Saw Jeff Okudah lifting weights, those kinds of things. And I've noticed it's become like a hardline stance where, and our own Corey Wood sent out the tweet, as Jeff Okudah heads into his 3rd season with the Lions, questions surround his value to the team and if he's already a, quote, bust. I dive into that in this circulating theory with my perspective of whether he is or he isn't. You can follow Corey Woods on Twitter. He's our guy. He's out there at Allen Park. He's our Lions guy. We're not like some of these other news organizations that just lift somebody else's story and send it out on social media as if it were ours and say, hey, what do you think about this? And then it's a link to another story. We do this weird thing where we send like actual people. But I digress from that. This whole Jeff Okudah thing, it's a hard line, right? Like he's a bust or he's not a bust.
Yeah.
I've noticed that's where it is. And, to dive into that, I mean, as far as I go with it, Jeff, and I'm curious to get your take, that hard line, bust line, if you don't see more and it ends like this, then what are we talking about here? I mean, certainly it has. Does he have a chance to resurrect it and rise from the ashes? Certainly he does. Are we hearing the right things and seeing the right things? But that old truth teller comes in September.
Yeah.
when Aaron Rodgers is out there on the field, we gonna see. I know people don't like me quoting Drake, but we gonna see, right, Sam Flannel? We are. But, Jeff, I mean, for me, if we don't see any more, I mean, how can you not label it that?
No, and it's fair. I think the unfortunate part, he was drafted number 3 as a cornerback, and that was the issue right away. So if I'm going to blame somebody, it's going to be Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn for taking a cornerback that high. It has nothing to do with Jeff Okudah. You'd like him to be more healthy. I think that's where the bust label comes in because and when he's been playing, he hasn't looked too good. But again, he hasn't had consistency. He hasn't been able to build on performances. He was unfortunately labeled a bust as soon as he was drafted that high, number 1. And number 2, you want him to be healthy this year, especially with this regime. I think that's the caveat to this, that he hasn't played an entire season, but he also hasn't played an entire season with Aaron Glenn. And that's what I'm excited about. I mean, this is a guy who's a 3-time Pro Bowler with over 40 career interceptions. I'm sure he could teach him a thing or two. And that's something that he didn't have with the last regime. So I'm excited to see Jeff Okudah. I think it's a big year for him. I don't like how it's either he's a bust or he's not. I think it's still undetermined at this point. You haven't liked what you saw, Neal, but to your point, if he's not available this year, he's starting to slide into the bust category, and that's the truth.
Coquet says bust until proven otherwise. And Chuck says he's a bust at 3, but can still be a player that contributes to the team. Not his fault he was taken at 3. But Chuck, but I would say this, though. Fault or not his fault, the fact of the matter is next year he's the 8th highest paid player on the team.
That's the reality.
That's the reality. Like, that's what it is. That's why I love pro sports. Because, like, we can talk about politics of a locker room or we can talk about contracts. But the moral of the story is it plays out and there's no escape from it. And other than the scoreboard, the contracts are how you keep score. That's the nature of professional sports. That's what you sign up for. And, in this business, we sign up to, be out there publicly and to be wrong and to be right and to get criticized and to get criticized publicly. That's the way it goes.
Right.
Jeff Okudah, the same deal. And as far as it goes, that's where, and is it his fault, Chuck? No, it's not his fault, but it kind of is. You know what I'm saying? Because the contract's what the contract is. And you know how I stand with all this. The organization's job, a general manager's job, is to have more guys that outperform their contracts than to have guys that perform less than their contracts. That's how you win in the National Football League.
Right.
That's how you win in the NHL. That's how you win in a salary cap era. So, fair or unfair, you can say it's his fault or it's not his fault for being drafted 3rd. Fair or unfair, that doesn't matter. And that stigma is going to hang over his head. It just is. But, I mean, no one knows that more than Jeff Okudah.
Absolutely. And if you're drafted in the same pedigree as Deion Sanders, Denzel Ward, Jalen Ramsey, that's who you're compared to. And it's not his fault, but that's the reality of it. If you're, like you said, the salary, that matters as well. But I'm excited to see him with this regime. I know last year he played the one game, and then after that he tore his Achilles. So you didn't really get to see a lot, but make a lot of sense. Detroit Dabber says, unless you're easy, though, and contracts don't have any impact. And that is true. Like, when Easy formulates his takes, he doesn't take the contract into account. He just spews his stuff, and that's it. It was a little bit of that barbershop talk. It's just, who would you rather have, Jared or Tua? But you got to get down to the symmetrics. Yeah. So, I mean, and that's what it is, right? Like, there is a hard line. Do you consider Jeff Okudah to be a bust? And, I think, again, and I'm not being slanderous or trying to hot take anybody or anything like that. What they've paid out versus what they've gotten are unequal. Is that a hot take? No. Mark me. Is that a hot take? That's actually a very good. I agree with everything you're saying. That's the right way to look at it, because you have to look at, it's not about Jeff Okudah the person. We love him as a person, but you're talking about in business sense. If you're the Lions and you take a player at 3 and he's making, like you said, one of the highest paid players next year, and you're not getting the at least statistically anything out of him, hopefully you'll get something. But that's. You have to start looking at him as a bust, and that's the unfortunate part of it. You want to wait till his contract's at least up, until it expires, to really declare if he's a bust, because I think there's still plenty for him to show, absolutely, in Detroit. With this new coaching staff, I'm excited. Yeah, Pistons fan 11 agrees, says Easy doesn't take much into account. He just fires a takeoff and then tries to make it make sense after. That's Pistons fan 11. That should be
quote tweet it and put on the wallpaper here in the Woodward Sports Studios, because that you diagnosed it exactly, my friend. That was absolutely perfect. Honolulu Blue Sparty says number 3 picks need to perform regardless of coaching. And that's the other thing too. Like, I get what you're saying, Jeff, but you're the number 3 pick in the draft. I don't care who the coach is. Ball. You know what I'm saying? Ball. And that's the thing, like with the Aiden Hutchinson thing, where I got into some hot water, I guess, with some people because I had this crazy idea that he needs to perform. Everything else around it,
right?
Everything else that goes into it, who the offensive tackle is, what the scheme is, all that stuff. You got to be above that, man.
And I think there's a difference. Like, if I'm an edge rusher, that I feel like what you're saying makes more sense because you could just tell Aiden, go and get after it. Like, as a corner, there's some of that, but there's also a teaching aspect that I just don't think our defensive guru had at the time. And again, maybe it is, go out and get it, but I just think the cornerback position's a little different. But again, Jalen Ramsey came out, played pretty damn well in Jacksonville. So again, it just depends. Every player's different, but with Jeff Okudah, I think just having Matt Patricia, Paul Pasqualoni, like this, it was a disaster. But
Lions Rumble 81 says, not yet. You can't call him a bust until he gets burnt religiously when he's healthy. I think that's a little harsh. Like, that's interjecting some hot takeism into it. I'm trying to keep it fair over here. I'm like Rodney Dangerfield and Caddyshaw. Let's keep it fair.
If he's getting dusted and he's healthy, I mean, that's now we can have that conversation. It's hard to have a bust conversation over a player you just haven't seen. You really haven't.
No, and Honolulu Blue Sparty says this too on the YouTube chat thread. And I take these sometimes with a grain of salt because our worlds are different, right? Like the professional athlete versus us in our everyday world. He says we all have to perform at work regardless of whether or not we like our boss or we're fired. And I think there are two very different worlds, but there are some fundamental principles of it all that are the same. And Sparty, I think you're right with that. I mean, the bottom line is the boss has to be on your side or it's a wrap for you.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And, I wonder about that. I wonder about where, because you have to make that decision after next year.
Yeah.
You going to pay this guy $11 million?
It's coming up quickly.
Not based on what I've gotten so far, I'm not.
No, you're going to need a great year out of him. And we could talk about expectations, but that's the reality, man. You got to give me something.
Because here's the deal, too, real quickly. We talked about the Aiden Hutchinson thing, right? We all got heated and we all spoke our piece, but the bottom line is he's signed now. And he signed here as a number 2 pick in the draft. He's got a number 2 contract. So that's what the expectation is. Doesn't matter. The second you get drafted, nothing else matters.
Yep.
And then the second you sign that contract, nothing else matters. That's why I love pro sports. That's why I love professional sports, because the truth unfolds in front of you. And there's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide.
No, nowhere to hide.
But if you were going to hide, I would suggest go to your local Big Boy and hide at Strawberry Fest. That would be a good spot to hide at, because they brought back some of the classic breakfast items like the strawberry French toast, the strawberry pancakes, and Spencer's favorite, the strawberry waffle. You can get 2 in a row if you want. That's what Spencer Raxter did. I watched it. If you're not feeling breakfast, try the new strawberry bacon chicken wrap. I had that. Excelente. The crispy chicken wrap, the nacho wrap, or the strawberry salad. The perfect recipe for springtime. And don't forget to grab dessert, which is the whole point of all of this, because a slice of strawberry pie is $1.99 when you spend $7.99 at Big Boy. Do the math, people. It's pretty easy to figure out. You're not going to chase your meal with a $1.99 slice of strawberry pie, then I can't help you any further, because that's just a gimme. Just like Strawberry Fest at Big Boy. Available at participating Big Boy locations.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Neal Ruhl, Jeff Iafrate in for DMAC. It is Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We got Sam Flannel, we got Spencer Raxter. So here it is, guys. You ready for this, Sam Flannel? We're going to open up the phone lines. Entire second hour. If you want to work yourself up to it, feel free. Lob us a phone call. Anything you want to talk about. We'll weave in the topics, as we always do. But you don't have to limit it to what we're talking about at the time. I like to think I'm pretty decent at doing this for a living, so I'd like to think I can talk about two things at one time.
Yeah.
I think Jeff Iafrate's pretty good at this.
Let's do it.
I think he can delineate from one topic, address another one, and then go back to what we were saying. It's a dance that we do.
Sam, what's the phone number? I'll put it in the...
I've done this thing where I put Jared Goff up against different quarterbacks in the NFL, and who would you rather have? And
okay.
The Tuas and everybody like that. Jared Goff wins every debate. We had a person go so far as to say that Jared Goff will throw for 5,000-plus yards this season. We've had it all. We've had our own Sam Flannel say that DeAndre Swift will be the NFC's leading rusher. What's a realistic? Rob J says, Neal, cut the feed. No, we're back. We're back at it. I think somebody tried to give some Joe Dumars slander.
Yeah,
so that's what it was.
That's what it is.
The feed is programmed to immediately cut out when there's Joe Dumars slander.
It's automated.
What's a realistic expectation for this Lions offense? Come correct. Be real.
And I think I'm going to focus on one thing. It's the rushing attack. I think a top 10 rushing attack is a must, is a need, especially for who's at quarterback, Jared Goff. That's all I'm really focused on. I know what I'm getting out of Jared Goff. He's going to be solid at times. He's going to be inconsistent at times. But I expect one thing to be consistent. It's those guys up front. It's that O-line. It's that top 3 O-line in the NFL. So it's the run game. That's the heartbeat of this offense. And not only that, it's going to open up so much more for Jared Goff in play action. Guys like DJ Chark in the future, Jamison Williams, even in the intermediate field with TJ Hockenson and Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's the heartbeat of this offense. So if they could sneak into that top 10 with their rushing attack, and they were outside of it last year with some injuries, I think that's going to be the heartbeat of this team. So stick with the rushing attack. Leave everything else to figure itself out.
But, I wonder about that. 313-552-6322. If you have thoughts on this or anything else, anything that you guys want to talk about, Sam Flannel's over. Sam Flannel is standing by. For just $1 a day, you can make a difference on Big D Energy.
Hey, I haven't got anybody yet, but I like what we're talking about. I think it's going to get a lot of traction. And you said, Jeff, that you expect a top 10 rushing attack, so DeAndre Swift leading the NFC in rushing. That doesn't sound so crazy, does it?
No, it still does.
And I was talking with Spence about this, and I can't. What do you think he'll rank in the NFC North? Can we have that discussion?
Obviously first.
So ahead of Montgomery, ahead of Aaron Jones, everybody.
Yes, I gave you reasons.
Dalvin Cook, healthy.
Dalvin Cook is the one that scares me, as I've said before. But he gets dinged up from time to time. He's had seasons that he's missed almost the entire year with injury, and he's going to split some carries with Alexander Madison. A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, they split carries. David Montgomery, he's all right. I don't think he's better than DeAndre Swift. I think he was kind of a one-year wonder. He was I think he will lead the NFC North. Obviously, he's going to lead the NFC, so he's got to
clearly.
I
just had to check here real quick, Sam. One thing with DeAndre, though, all-purpose yards, I think he could be, who knows, 1,000. He's that good, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I guess it's always going to come back to this, right? It's always going to circle back to Jared Goff, which our preliminary research, as we said, you got the YouTube chat, right? Handy, ready to go. Who'd you rather have, Jared Goff or Ryan Tannehill?
Which turd smells better?
You see where I'm going? I told you we're going to continue to do this.
Yeah.
He's undefeated, right? He's 4-0.
Who has he taken down?
He's taken down, and mark me on this one, you guys. He's taken down. Who has he taken down?
You haven't brought up Tua yet, have you?
Yeah, he took down Tua.
He did.
He took down Tua. David Jones, right?
Yeah.
Took down
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones.
Okay.
He took down Tua.
Yeah.
We're going to put it up there. Ryan Tannehill right now.
2-0. I think he'll be 3-0.
It's going to be 3-0.
Didn't we do
Davis Mills?
We did Davis Mills,
God,
right? He took down Davis Mills.
Yep.
It's 4-0. Did we do Chicago's quarterback too?
Justin Fields? I don't think so.
Okay, we'll do Fields tomorrow.
Okay.
But right now, who would you rather have, Jared Goff or Ryan Tannehill? What do you got, Sam Flannel?
We have a caller.
Okay.
If you want to take it right now, his name is Matt Sullivan, and he wants to talk about the Tigers, specifically Al Avila.
Let's do it. Let's welcome in Matt Sullivan here. Open lines on Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, 313-552-6322. Matt, what's going on, man? How are you?
How's it going, Neal? Thanks for having me. Shame Darren couldn't be here for the first day of calls, but I appreciate you taking it.
100%, man. What do we got on Al Avila?
So I was listening to Adam and Terry earlier. They were talking about Al. You know how Adam feels about him.
Yes.
But I'm more interested on Illich and getting someone that can focus their attention on when wants to put the money down. Me and my brother were talking the other day. Think about getting Jeff, Mr. Bezos, Mr. Amazon. I think we should get that train going, or at least someone with the money and the funds that wants to put the resources into this organization.
Well, Matt, what about Ishbia? I mean, Ishbia's here. He's trying to buy the Denver Broncos for billions of dollars, right? Get him in the loop too, Matt.
Both have deep pockets.
I mean, do it. As far as I can see, ever since Mike Illich, God rest his soul, ever since he went, it doesn't seem like they're batting an eye to the Tigers. Just focus on the Red Wings if that's your baby, and let's get someone in here with some money, get some real players, and stop going cheap at the buyouts. It should have got Correa.
Well, and Matt, here's the thing, too, and I've said this in the past, and if you've watched the show or listened to the show for any measure of time, you've heard me say this before. Baseball is the one unique one, right, Matt, where you can wake up in one morning, you can wake up and say, hey, we're going to be good now. And you can, and chances are you're going to be good, just in terms of a playoff contender, however you want to do it. One day, Mike Illich woke up and said, hey, I want the Tigers to be good. And magically, Matt, they were good.
Yeah, magically, you look back at the Maglio Ordonez deals, when he was coming off the White Sox, they weren't afraid to take a chance on him, give him some money, and he ended up being, one of the greatest Tigers of this millennium. But his son, it just seems like he's just putzing it with Al Avila because he's too lazy to actually make a change. You can just put it on Avila at the end of the day, and we're going to lose Hinch because of it.
And that's the $1 million question, Matt. Appreciate the phone call there. We do have the open phone lines going, 313-552-6322. And
appreciate it.
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy for starting quarterback, by the way. I had to slip that in. J.J. McCarthy.
Oh, there he is. I appreciate it, man. The J.J. McCarthy. The David Blough, Michigan quarterback. Get ready for that one coming up pretty soon, too. It's a duel at quarterback. It's a duel at quarterback.
He'll be tearing up
for
practices.
Michigan.
He'll be tearing them up.
No, absolutely he will. No, but again, you can decide to be good. You can decide to be good. Like you can say, Miggy's still on the books right now, and that's really hurting our ability. No, that's not the way a lot of teams operate. No, you can say, Miggy was a good soldier and certainly gave us everything we asked for and more. And we would love to build a winner to kind of ride him off into the sunset as his career comes to an end. You can just decide to be good. And more than that, there are GMs out there right now that aren't working, that have done it before, that are looking for jobs, that would get more than Daz Cameron for Justin Verlander and J.D. Martinez.
It'll always go back.
That's your return.
It'll always go back to Daz Cameron.
And why would it not?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
why would it not? Because they said, hey, we're tearing it down. We're gonna trade all of our vets right now and build the farm system. You got Daz Cameron for Justin Verlander and J.D. Martinez. That was your return.
Don't forget about Jake Rogers.
Inexcusable.
Franklin Perez, the superstar that can't stay healthy.
Keep them coming.
Inexcusable.
5 Alcantaras. Let's get another one.
Yeah, all but the good ones.
Yeah.
Didn't get Sandy Alcantara from the Marlins. Got every other Alcantara that's not good. Come on. Hey, let me tell you about my bookie. NBA Finals. Eventually they'll start again. Oh, yeah, tonight. The NHL playoffs. Eventually they'll end. You can bet NHL playoffs from now till October, I guess, because that's going to be going on forever. And speaking of going on forever, the baseball season, too. You can pick your spots at my bookie. No better place to get that action down on your favorite teams than mybookie.com. When you sign up for a new account, use the promo code Woodward. They'll give you a match of your first deposit up to 50% in the form of free bets. So you'll bet all your over 77.5 Tiger series season total wins. You can do all that stuff on mybookie.com. Again, use a promo code Woodward. They'll match part of your first deposit up to 50%. Bet on anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Have a gambling problem? Call the gambling hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab your cranberry. Oh, wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
If you need apparel, there's only one place to go. It's Big Frog in Novi. They got no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround that you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing. Big Frog has the styles you want. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, 313-552-6322, the phone number. Open phone lines, anything you guys want here for the second hour. So far, so good. Matt, big time thumbs up. 5-star rating for Matt as a caller. He was great.
He's great.
Enjoyed that. Alliance Rumble. Let's go chat, go interact. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you guys want to do here. It's a second hour on a Wednesday. People talking pizza in there. We can get into that coming up in just a little bit. We wrapped up our other poll. Jared Goff versus Ryan Tannehill. Who would you rather have? 71% of you say Jared Goff. Still looking for a quarterback that it's even close with.
and I feel like a little bit of that is loyalty, but another part of it, is it that much of a landslide between Ryan Tannehill and Jared Goff? Like a 70-29?
Somebody in the YouTube chat thread
29.
said Zeke, I think if Jared Goff was a starter for the Titans, they beat the Cincinnati Bengals in the playoffs.
We're getting to that point. We're reaching at that point.
But, I mean, you flip that coin, right, and you say, well, if Jared Goff's a starter for the Titans for the whole season, are the Titans in the playoffs?
Right. No Derrick Henry.
With no Derrick Henry.
Tannehill got the number 1 seed. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of what-ifs at this point, but, again, very similar quarterbacks, both bridge quarterbacks to me, limited quarterbacks. But I guess you like Ryan because he's more mobile, but, again, he throws more interceptions. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It's a tough one to figure out. A lot of it is loyalty, though. You got to stay loyal to Jared Goff, it seems like.
But we're doing it, and we keep knocking quarterbacks off the list. And I think it ties into the question we're talking about. What are your serious expectations for the Lions offense this year? Because I think, like, it was cute in some of the stuff we were saying and some of the stuff the fans were saying about the 5,000 yards and the touchdowns and all that stuff. But I think that's legit the take that a lot of people have.
Yeah,
and I don't know how much of it is hopium, how much of it is real versus the hopium. I mean, how many of them are tying up the rubber band, and cooking it up and everything like that? I wonder about that.
Oh yeah,
because I think there is a segment of people, and I think it's more than I think it is. Am I crazy here?
No, it is. It is. What were you gonna say, Spence?
Everybody knows my feelings about Jared Goff, and when me and Easy first got on him pretty hard on heavyweights, I was honestly shocked on how many people are like, oh, he's not that bad. Jared Goff's our guy. We can do it. Like, why?
But
Sean McVay didn't want him. He couldn't do it with the Rams. What makes you think, like, the Lions, he can do it with the Lions? I don't know. It kind of blows my mind.
Those are the same people that after the Super Bowl were saying, how could this man not throw a touchdown in the postseason?
Exactly.
And now he's on the Lions, and it's, but Jared Goff, and I get it. I mean, if you're downgrading from Stafford to Jared Goff, no one wants to really believe it that you're downgrading. So it's like they want to, pump Jared Goff up, and I love Jared Goff to a certain extent. He's a bridge quarterback, and that's how I view him. But does everybody get that? Does everybody understand he's a bridge quarterback?
See,
does everybody understand that?
No, but here's the thing. I'm starting to warm up to this, and I suspected this in the beginning. But as things continue to play out, certainly as I see the court of public opinion on him, there's no such thing as a bridge quarterback in the NFL. He's either your guy or he's not your guy.
Right. Guy, yeah. Like
he's
Alex
the guy
Smith, like
because there's no one in the system to replace him. Like there's no one coming to replace him. So, I mean, he's like a Tigers positional player right now. There's nobody anywhere.
So that's your guy.
That's your guy.
Yeah.
And until I see differently, he's the guy.
It's like Tennessee with Ryan Tannehill. Before they drafted Malik Willis, he's their guy, so you can't really call him a bridge quarterback because who's their option besides Ryan Tannehill? I mean, that's the reality of it. So I get it, but again, I agree with this sentiment. I think he can be our Alex Smith for the Chiefs. Maybe he could just get you into the playoffs and maybe get a playoff win, but eventually it is not going to happen. Do we have a caller? We do. Sam?
Oh, yes. We've got a few, actually.
Okay, line them up.
We are going to start with Scott. And Scott says he just wants to talk about any Detroit sports team.
All right, Scott, appreciate you calling Big D Energy. What do you got, my friend?
How's it going, guys? How you guys doing today?
I'm living. Livin.
Exactly my point. So, wanted to talk on the Lions. First off, we'll start with them because they're the ones in the most important rebuild right now.
Go for it.
I believe that they could have at least a top 4 or a top 5 running game if Swift can stay healthy and Hawkinson. With that being said, yes, I get it. ACLs probably aren't as bad 25, 30 years ago. Still not sold on the tight end and the wide receiver with the torn ACLs. So, I mean, and on the whole, Jared Goff or Ryan Tannehill, I don't know. I want to go with Goff, but I really like Tannehill because he's proven himself. Goff has only had that one dynamic year. The Red Wings are in a bit of a rebuild. They could use a goalie or a left wing. And then I think they'd probably be set other than a couple more placement spots. Now, the Tigers are a lost cause right now. They just ain't going nowhere. I'm sorry.
No one's coming.
I'm a Tiger fan through and through, but they ain't going nowhere this year. And then the Detroit Pistons. I wouldn't mind seeing Shady Sharp be a nice little pick and roll aspect for Cade Cunningham. But I also like the whole, do you trade up in the draft or do you stay with the draft pick you got? And Neal?
Yes, sir.
On this aspect, I wanted to know, when is the DCFC going to be a premier soccer team?
All right, appreciate the phone call. I'll address that last one there first.
A lot to digest there.
There was a lot to digest.
He gave us a breakdown.
Yeah, well, I would contend the Red Wings need a defenseman.
Yes.
They do.
They have 1.5, as we said. No, but I appreciate the phone call, my friend. Thank you. I mean, define premier, right? I mean, they seem to be doing pretty well every level they've been to. I mean, define premier. And look, let's be real about it. I know everyone talks about that, right? Like, is the MLS this necessary entity? I don't know. The club seems to be in pretty good footing right now. They seem to be pretty popular. They seem to fill their stadium. They seem to be successful.
That's all that matters.
They seem to be everything that you want as a sports fan, right?
Yeah.
They have positive community impact. They didn't hold the city hostage over a stadium. They didn't ask for public dollars to finance anything.
True.
They crowdfunded the improvements to the stadium, but they paid everybody back with interest. Yeah. They are everything that you say you want as a sports fan. To me, anyway.
Yeah, you're
like
absolutely right.
I don't know why the MLS is always the end game for everything.
Yeah.
Like their club seems to be doing well. Why can't it just be that? Why does it have to be an MLS club? Because you know how this stuff works, right? Like $300 million expansion fees and $250 million stadium. Like that's how it works.
Yeah,
that's the reality. So I don't know. Premier in whose eyes? To yours? I mean, okay, maybe they're not in your eyes, but as far as what we claim we want in a sports franchise,
they check all the boxes.
They are premier.
Yeah, they check all the boxes. So,
yeah, that's just me. Let me see. We got time for one more, Sam Flannel. Let's squeeze one more in.
Yes, I will take you to. I will go with Craig.
Craig,
yes.
Craig, you ain't got to lie, Craig. Craig, what do you got, man? Thanks for calling Big D Energy.
I just wanted to talk about this
And
crazy
Craig.
story about the 5-star recruit down in Michigan. Apparently, his mom's account was hacked, and she said that why would I send my 5-star recruit to Michigan to hand the ball off 35 times a game? So I don't know what that she got hacked or if she actually was the one that posted that, but it's just a crazy story, and this is kind of the quarterback of the future for Michigan. So
right.
it's crazy because now they say he's leaning towards Notre Dame and all this is coming out. So we'll see what happens. But that was I just want to kick that back to you guys, see what you thought of all that.
Thanks, Craig. I appreciate the phone call, man. Appreciate you guys tapping in. Craig, I need to borrow your VCR right quick. You want to tackle that one? Because I have some thoughts on it too, Jeff. Go ahead.
mean, that's unfortunate, I guess you could say the least. I mean, who was the quarterback that was committed originally, and he said he doesn't want to hand the ball off 35 times?
I don't know who the recruit is that he's talking about, but I will say this. Here's what's concerning about that to me.
Yeah.
If you're a Michigan fan, that's still the perception.
Yeah.
You know, for real.
Yeah.
We can laugh about it and stuff like that, but Craig, I would say this. If I'm a Michigan's fan, I'm concerned about that. That's the perception of the program in the recruit's eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I obtuse with this?
They just had one of their best seasons in a long time.
Am I being a hater, Jeff Iafrate?
No, you're not. Dave Portnoy, chill out. He's not being a hater. And number two, based on the success Michigan had last season, that's the story. So is it, whoever hacked the mother, are they wrong? No, they're not wrong. But again, it's so unfortunate, man. Especially nowadays when everything is off of social media, you have to commit via social media. If you get hacked, man, you're out of luck.
No, but that's what it is.
Yeah,
like
it is.
That's the perception. That's an alleged 5-star recruit that Craig is talking about. That's how they feel though. Like to go to Michigan to hand the ball off 35 times. Obviously,
that's the aura.
You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
And I think, and look, you guys are going to be surprised, and I think people were surprised when Michigan was making their run. What did I say about Donovan Edwards, Spencer? What did I say?
That he's a hidden weapon.
Going to be a star.
Yeah.
He's going to be he'll be leaving school early.
Stud. Oh,
definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
He'll be leaving school early to get drafted.
Do you think if J.J. McCarthy was playing, the narrative would be a little bit different? Because at least they can air it out a lot more, or is it still the same offense no matter who's at the quarterback position? So this isn't a Cade McNamara thing. This is just their offense.
I don't. Yeah, Drake.
Very true.
No, that's the question.
Yeah.
But how flexible are you as a coach? How much does it have to be? And look, I think we're seeing coaches leave college sports, not just football, but in basketball. I think we're seeing them leave because they are losing control. And when I say losing control, I mean not everything can be unilaterally their way anymore. And they would rather quit.
Yeah.
They would rather quit than to have to cede control. And we see that in all walks of life these days. That's just not unique to coaching or to sports or anything like that. People get threatened, man, when they feel like they're losing control. And you guys know what I'm saying. Like, we see that in our everyday lives.
Right.
There are a lot of people walking around threatened that they're losing control or somebody's coming for them or stuff like that. That's the way that it works. And it's funny to me because you're seeing coaches leave because they feel like they're losing control when all they ever ask of their players is, do it my way.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Huh.
can't be throwing chairs and stuff anymore. It's like these kids actually run the franchise. They're more important to this than you are. You know, weird that the athlete is more important than the coach.
And I'm not saying that or not saying that.
I'm saying it.
I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
Just like I'm saying, you should work out at Planet Fitness. We're here live from the Planet Fitness studios. I was there about 3 hours ago, getting it in like I do every single morning at Planet Fitness right here, Maple Road. Shout out to my guy, Matt, man. It's one of the best Planet Fitness around, in my opinion anyway. Right now, $0 down, $10 a month. You can get a Planet Fitness membership no matter where you are. There's a Planet Fitness close by. You're going to pass 2 of them on the way home. Pull up in there. Sign up there. $0 down, $10 a month. That'll get you access to your home club. You can join online. PlanetFitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Hey, Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Hey, Tigers cost us a little bit yesterday, but that's okay. We'll get back at some winners here in a second. But first, you guys got to get over to that app store and download oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and it's the best place to check all the odds at all the sports books right in the palm of your hand. So let's get back to that winner so we can make us some money. We're rolling with the up-down, win one, lose one theory in the NBA. We're all bouncing back with the Celtics here tonight, -3.5. Golden State, 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games on the road. Oddstrader.com, Woodward Bets. Check it out.
We know how valuable it is in sports to rebuild. It's essential. And also, who can help you with that process is Alta Equipment. Know that when it comes to getting your job completed on a budget, on schedule, uptime matters. That's why Alta Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. There's nothing your project can't throw at you that Alta can't handle. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today. Alta Equipment, where uptime matters.
The reason why Avila doesn't work at Alta is because he doesn't know how to rebuild.
It's a good point.
Just stays shattered, like I-75. If the Tigers were an organization, it would be I-75.
Yeah. Potholes everywhere.
He would trade you 2 claw diggers for a tricycle with a flat tire.
Yeah.
That's what he would get back. If it were up to him. I do see the Alta trucks. Now that they're advertising here, you just kind of be more mindful. They are everywhere, dude. Right. Every project that's going on anywhere.
They're legit.
Yeah, they're out there banging it away,
rent
man.
me a Bobcat to drive to work one time, just for fun.
Pull up in a Bobcat.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob J says, didn't Neal say Edwards was going to UGA? No, I never said that. Local guy, man. And he's going to be a star. Mm-hmm. Everybody, be ready for that. 313-552-6322. We got calls to get to here. So, Sam Flannel, it's your show. Who we got?
Right now, we just have one, and his name is Aaron Tackett. You might recognize him from the chat.
Yes.
And he wants to talk about the Detroit Lions.
Aaron, appreciate you tapping in. Big D Energy. What's going on, my friend?
What's going on, Neal and Jeff? How you guys doing?
We're living.
Good, man. How are you?
Living.
What you want to talk about?
So, the Lions and how astronomically terrible Jared Goff is.
That's my guy. I like this guy.
All right, so far so good in Spencer's eyes.
Ben, you can hang out anytime, dude. No, Jared Goff, man. Jared Goff, I watched him. I'm an avid Lions watcher. I watch, got 2 little girls that usually take over the living room TV, so I watch on my phone most of the time.
Can relate.
But so I've watched this dude throw the ball out of bounds on 4th and 3rd when we're, a score behind, late in the 4th. So, I'm just trying to figure out why some of these people, just think Jared Goff is good. He's all right. He can be good with the Rams. He did mediocre with the Rams, and they had Todd Gurley and a meh receiving core, but he got to the Super Bowl. Everyone says, "Oh, well, he's been to the Super Bowl. That's fine."
Well, Aaron, what about this, Aaron? In that And I think, you're a regular watcher of the show, contributor to the show and everything like that. You see what I'm doing here, right? Where we do these polls and we put him up against quarterbacks in the league, and he's running roughshod through all of them right now, just in favorability polls, I guess you could call. I mean, it's 70-30 every single time. Tannehill, Tua, all these guys. I mean, Aaron, I want your reaction to this, where I'm starting to think, like, there is no quote bridge quarterback here, and like this is the guy, man.
I mean, for the Lions, yeah. There's not replacement-wise. Who are you going to take? There's not many people over there. Like, Atlanta's looking at Marcus Mariota. Like, they had Matt Ryan, and so you got Atlanta going with Mariota, and then I can't tell you any other city that has. I mean, Seattle's running with Drew Lock right now.
Right.
I mean, you think Seattle wants to run with Drew Lock? They lose Russell Wilson, who, in my eyes, somehow, some way, doesn't get an MVP. Like, how he hasn't received an MVP vote? And I could be wrong that he didn't, receive a vote in general, but it's Russell Wilson.
No, and Aaron, appreciate the phone call, my friend. Thanks for tapping in. And again, Aaron's a guy. He's vocal about it.
He makes some good points too.
But I think I scared him a little bit with that. Did I scare you a little bit, Jeff, with that? Are you seeing that at all, or again, am I
scared the hell out of me?
No, I see it. I think there's just it all goes back to Hopium, because in a way I call him a bridge quarterback because I feel like there is a better option in the future. You don't have it right now, so I guess you can't really call him a bridge at the moment. But in terms of long term, if you draft a guy, you think the Blough news is big? Wait till you have a rookie at camp tearing up the red zone. My God, they're going to be calling for Jared's job quicker than people think.
Mike K, this caller stinks. I thought Aaron was fine.
Oh, he was fine.
Welcome to my world, by the way, Aaron.
Say one thing about Jared.
Yeah.
This guy stinks.
Well, welcome to my world now, where people are going to make their thoughts. No, I think the callers have been pretty good today.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate doing this again. What's your? We got any more Sam Flannel? Anybody on the line right now?
Someone's on the line right now. I'm gonna go pick that up.
Just bring them live. Just bring them in. Yeah, just do it.
Living on the edge.
Just bring it in. I'll answer it. Let me know when we're up. We got him, Sam Flannel?
It's Jared Goff.
We got him, Sam Flannel? We got him?
Hey,
okay. Caller, thanks for calling Woodward Sports, Big D Energy. What's your name?
Hey, this is Lion Rumble 81, man.
What's up, man? What's up?
Shoots and scores.
Yeah. What
was cracking, boys?
What do you got for us, Lions Rumble?
Oh, man, Lions talk, typical Lions talk.
Sure.
I like all of you guys' takes. I believe the O-line is the key essential to this thing moving forward this year. And I believe the defensive line is too. We got so many versatile pieces on here. So my question is, what's the record you guys are looking for in order for this whole thing to, for us, the fans, to make it believable that these are the players and the regime?
Well, Lions
What is
Rumble,
the record?
I'll spin that back on you. I want to hear your take first.
My take, I think we need at least. I think we need at least 9 wins. That's the standard that in which we fired Jim Caldwell at. We haven't been back there in some years now. So 9 for me would be the measuring stick this year.
Where are you at with it, John?
I think a minimum of 7 for me. And I respect 9 because he's holding their feet to the fire. And I respect anybody who's going to do that with this Lions franchise. So 7, 9 in that ballpark.
The thing for me, Lions Rumble, is this. And you hear Sam Flannel talk about it where, DeAndre Swift leads the NFC in rushing. And to a lesser degree, you've heard it from me. I think this is a top 5 offensive line, top 3 offense. I think this is one of the preeminent offensive lines in football. And if that is true, and they do stay healthy, then 8 to 9 wins is a baseline expectation. I think that this offensive line and how good they are, though, will be the truth teller for everything else that we talk about, because this receiving core is supposed to be improved, right? That's what they say.
Mm-hmm.
T.J. Hawkinson wants top 3 tight end money. That's what they say. So you know what I'm saying? I mean, this offensive line, Lions Rumble, I really need them to stay healthy this year, because I want them to tell the truth on Goff, on Swift, on
Absolutely. I want us to be feared, man. I want that O-line to be feared. I don't see a reason why they shouldn't be. I want pancakes. Fucking big boy strawberry fest. I want pancakes, damn it.
Yeah, there it is. Lions Rumble. Appreciate the phone call, my friend. Thank you for tapping. And Spencer Raxter wants back-to-back strawberry pancakes. No, but I'm with you because. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That's right. Yeah, waffles. My bad.
Waffle guy.
My bad. Anyway, though,
I'll let it slide.
That's the thing with me with Sewell.
Yeah.
Because I am going out there, and they put the clip out on social media, on Twitter, of me talking about David Blough.
Mm-hmm.
And someone said, Neal, you're good at what you do, but you're a negative guy. And I knew that was going to happen.
Oh, God.
Because Penei Sewell is a gold jacket offensive line. Like, start assembling the materials now for it.
Yeah.
Get the threading ready to go. I truly 100% believe that. And he solidified it many, many times because he had those qualities. When they played the Rams and Aaron Donald got to talking that talk, who squared up with them?
Penny. And I love that.
When Nick Bosa was talking that talk, when the 49ers weren't. Now, granted, they were crushing them by 70 points.
Yeah.
But who talked that talk?
Penny.
That's what I want.
That means
something. And we talk about the NBA. It does mean something.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about the NBA draft and guys like that, I want the dudes that want to win more than they want to breathe. That's what I want. I want guys like Sewell that don't care that it's Aaron Donald over there. That's what I want. I want guys that don't care that it's Nick Bosa. They're going to square up with dudes like that. And we knew he was good, right? And certainly switching the positions, and there was a bit of a learning curve for like 3 games. And that's the thing, like when we're in year 4 and you got to tell me about, well, you got to let them develop. It's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late. You didn't show us. You didn't show. Penei Sewell showed us. That's right, Rose. Penei Sewell showed us. And that's where I am with it. And that's why I believe he's a gold jacket guy. Now, start making the jacket. When his rookie contract's up, take whatever the top 3 guys are, top 2 guys are paid at the position, write him a contract for 8 years, and never worry about the position again. That's fixed. That's fixed forever because he is that dude.
Yeah, and that's the difference.
How dare you be so negative to say a backup quarterback doesn't matter? How dare you?
Right. Like, that's not fair to say. And to your Penei Sewell point, the difference is you saw him struggle in the first half of the season, but a lot of that was because he was switching between right and left tackle. The second half of the season, he looked way, way better sticking at right tackle. And that's the thing. You saw him kind of get rid of the wrinkles already in his rookie season. There wasn't an entire rookie season of poor performances. So can't wait for Penei, man. He's a dog.
Chuck says, early if they have it or not. He has it. Bingo, brother. We're not sitting here thinking about this. There was a clip where I was talking about Steve Yzerman before the Red Wings season started and the whole Dylan Larkin thing. And people were mad at me because I'm like, Dylan Larkin's not a $9 million a year guy, $8 million a year guy. He's not. Because I still have to be shown that this year. Steve Yzerman, I didn't have to be shown. He walked on the ice and dominated. He showed us right away. Penei Sewell walked out there and showed you. Imagine when he does. And I'm not talking about for development's sake. I'm talking about wait 2 years down the road. Wait and see what Sewell is then. Wait and see what he does to Aaron Donald's. Wait and see what he does to Nick Bosa's then. He's going to be on that level with them. Like we have a chance in that fight now.
Right.
We're on equal footing.
Right.
We're sending a snake into the snake pit now. We're not sending a bunch of rats into the snake pit. We have a snake in the snake pit with him. The official drink of summer is here. The Mulligan. It's made with Gypsy Vodka, of course. Whether you're out on the golf course, hanging out in the backyard, the Mulligan is calling your name. You can ask for the Mulligan at a local golf course or a Total Wine near you. And don't forget, by the way, if you're not like that style of drink guy, don't forget that you can, just take Gypsy Vodka, put it in with some ice and some club soda or tonic, squeeze a lime in there, and rock out your summer that way as well. Gypsy's versatile like that. It's Gypsy Vodka, locally made in Petoskey. Ask for it by name. Gypsy Vodka, as always, drink responsibly.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy. We brought back some of the classic breakfast items like the strawberry French toast, hot cakes, and waffle. If you're not feeling breakfast, try our new strawberry bacon chicken wrap, crispy chicken wrap, nacho wrap, or strawberry salad. The perfect recipe for springtime. And don't forget to grab dessert, including our berry delicious strawberry pie for only $1.99 with the purchase of $7.99 or more at participating Big Boy locations.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. You know, you've heard about it. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. There's multiple ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play. We can stay there open to close, have a great time.
Woo.
Or they have $120 private lane reservation, 10 to 12 people. You get your own lane. You do whatever you want. You can bring in any type of food you want. You get thirsty? They have a $2 mystery beer vending machine. Pop in $2, pops you out a good beer. No hassle, no fuss needed. Know what you want to make a decision? They have multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So come on down and check them out in Hamtramck at the Foaling Warehouse, or visit them online at foalingwarehouse.com. Again, that is foalingwarehouse.com.
Back at it, Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network here with you. Neal Ruhl, Jeff Iafrate in for D-Mac. He's thrown out the first pitch for the West Michigan Whitecaps game tonight, but he will not go summer reading style because he doesn't dare to be great. But that's fine. He was great in a lot of other things. 313-552-6322. We've been taking phone calls all hour long. Appreciate all you guys tapping in to that. Mike G in our YouTube chat thread says Spencer versus Strawberry Waffles. Showed us.
It's fact.
That is fact.
I showed that big boy toilet in a couple hours, too.
Show us. Let's go back to the phone lines as promised. Whatever you guys want. We're like T.I. You can have whatever you want, all right? Let's go back to it. Adam is joining Big D Energy here. Adam, what's going on, man?
Hey, I was wondering what you guys thought of the Detroit Red Wings coaching search, and especially the new availability of a head coach from Boston, Bruce Cassidy. And if you guys think Yzerman's really a big front runner for the job.
And Adam, appreciate the phone call, my friend. Who do you want to see, Adam?
I really at first wanted to see Barry Trotz because I really liked his defensive system. But over the last 5 years, if you really look at Cassidy's track record, I think that maybe he would be the best available at the time. And he also taught a lot of more younger players on the team.
Yeah, I would say, though, that Adam, the knock on him, and part of the reason why he was kind of shown the door is, he's hard on young players, and that's a fine line to walk these days, my friend. It's one of those things where once they tune you out, it's a wrap and it's over. So that would be my only concern. But at the end of the day, man, Stevie Y, take the wheel, take it from my hands. Appreciate the phone call, Adam, man. Thanks for tapping in to Big D Energy. But Jeff, it's like that where it's, as far as that goes, that's the knock on him. And I know Trotz was the sexy name, and it takes two to tango and all that kind of stuff. He's got to want to be here, parlayed with the fact that Steve Yzerman does it. But I defer to D-Mac, who tells me Steve Yzerman plan. But I keep going back to that.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, I'm done with the defensive gurus at this point. Jeff Blashill, his specialty was defense, and a lot younger, obviously, than Barry Trotz. And that's big, man, being able to reach these young guys. I'm really looking at watching these NHL playoffs, watching the Avalanche and Oilers series. That was a series. That's the team. Offense, man, is where I'm looking for. So whether it's whoever it is, sign me up.
You got to let the meat slap meat.
You got to.
In the YouTube chat thread, in the YouTube chat thread, there's a lot of talk about Josh Paschal for the Lions, and he hasn't signed his contract, which is weird. He's the only rookie that hasn't signed his contract in a league where the contracts are slotted. You're basically arguing over a couple dollars when it gets down to that. Missed the camp, the OTA, whatever you want to call it, yesterday. I think a lower extremity injury was the reason given. I don't put a lot into him missing the activity. I do put more into the contract not being signed because it's slotted, right? Like when you walk into a contract negotiation, when all the noise has been condensed to it's going to be between this right here, like this is what we're negotiating after. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at what point do you say, all right, it's more valuable for me to be in camp?
Exactly. And I mean, obviously the Lions would like to get this done. I'm excited to see Paschal obviously this year, but again, being the only rookie, that's got to raise some sort of red light, especially for Lions fans. I'm confident it'll get done, obviously. The Aiden Hutchinson one took a little bit, but then they ended up getting it done. So I got faith they'll be just fine. This is just another story, not having the contract done. They'll be just fine. Kenny Pickett, didn't he wait to sign his contract, or he hasn't signed his contract? Don't know if he recently did, but Kenny Pickett's another one that I don't think hasn't signed his contract yet.
Yeah. On the YouTube chat thread, and I forget who it was, my apologies to you, asked me, what do you think about Oakland signing Rocket Watts?
Yeah, I'm interested in this as well. I was going to ask you that.
Yeah,
they officially released it.
Yeah, so he's cleared compliance and all that kind of stuff. So Rocket Watts. My statement on that is it's going to be a very, very good fit for Rocket Watts at Oakland. We'll say it like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll say this, too. The track record's a track record. And we talk about transfer portals and mid-major guys that leave mid-major programs and move on. There's a flip side to that coin, right? Where Power 5 guys that maybe haven't found their way yet or aren't happy with the usage they've gotten yet, I think Oakland's proven to be a pretty good spot for those guys to go. When you look, when you even on that quote-unquote transfer wave, Kendrick Nunn seemed to work out all right for him. Jamal Cain last year seemed to work out all right for him.
Yeah.
Rocket Watts, I would imagine, will probably fit that mold very, very nicely.
Absolutely.
You tell me, Spartan fan.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, like I said when we first brought it up, before you were able to speak on the topic, when it was just me and D-Mac going back and forth, that they tried to use Rocket to be a point guard when he was at Michigan State. They tried to turn him into that quintessential Michigan State point guard, which isn't what he is. That's not his game at all. He's a two guard. He's going to be a guy that wants to shoot the ball. He wants to shoot the ball off the dribble. He wants to use his athleticism to get into the lane. And that, like you said, that he'll fit perfectly with Oakland. They have a history of those guys that are going to put up shots, put up buckets, go in there and get theirs, and that's exactly what Rocket Watts wants to be. I think that's exactly what he will be in Oakland, and he's still a very talented player. Like, I liked what I saw out of him at MSU, even though I think he was used poorly by Izzo and the staff. But I liked what I saw. I thought he could be effective if used correctly. But we'll see. I'm excited for him in Oakland for sure.
Yeah, we're going to get Greg Campy on the show either today or either tomorrow or Friday. We'll see what camp schedule is like, and we'll get him in, and he'll be able to tell you kind of what the plans are for Rocket Watts. But you put him in the mix with a guy who leads the nation in assists, like Jalen Moore does, a point guard at Oakland, ... I think it's going to be all right.
For sure.
I'm excited about it. There is no question about that. I know Oakland recruited him heavily during the high school time as well. So big shout out to Oakland's coaching staff. And people seem excited, man, because the social media buzz around that was the likes of which we haven't seen for a while at Oakland. I'll just say it since the Kay Felder days.
I made Rocket Watts' food one time at Grand Traverse Pie. No big deal. Also gave Cassius Winston and his family free dinner at Grand Traverse Pie one time. No big deal.
Really?
Yeah.
Subtle flex.
Did you give him strawberry waffles too?
No strawberry waffles. I gave his grandma or his mom a slice of quiche though.
Yeah. On our YouTube chat thread, Coquet says the chat has come to a boil and is about to blow.
Oh, boo!
Ah, come on.
Boo.
That was all
wasn't
right.
that bad, actually. That wasn't
I
that
wouldn't
bad.
call that pathetic. Like, if you want to disagree with the delivery, that's fine.
You can nitpick it, but it's still.
I thought it was okay.
It was good.
I don't think it's worthy of being booed off the stage. Come on.
No tomatoes getting thrown this time.
Yeah, I think that was all right. There's a critical question in the YouTube chat thread that we'll get to when we come back that is Pistons related. Let me tell you about the Sports Marketing Agency. They spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse disorder. They have a new podcast out entitled This is the F Word. It's a series on fentanyl that helps spread awareness of fentanyl addiction and, quite frankly, the other addictions that are plaguing our communities today. If you are struggling or you know someone who is struggling, go to thesportsma.com. Again, thesportsma.com. Sports Marketing Agency, they're here to help. Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Neal Ruhl here for oddstrader.com, the #1 site for all of your game day bets, where you can start your handicapping journey at oddstrader.com. Get play-by-play updates, live scores, and bet tracking capability. All you got to do, download the OddsTrader app from the App Store today. Probably the most important part of this, they will help you find the best price for every game and all the sign-up offers from multiple sports books. Visit oddstrader.com. Player stats, key game stats, it's all out there for you at oddstrader.com. Final segment of the show. Neal Ruhl, Jeff Iafrate. Jeff, holding it down today. Good job, my friend. We got Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well with you. Happy to have you along for the ride. And Rax says, I'm stoked for Oakland games more than usual now. Jay Lamore with Rocket, Trey Townsend. A lot of young talent there. And, it should be exciting. And somebody else in the YouTube chat thread said, man, Oakland getting a lot of run. Chuck, did Neal open his wallet for the name, image, and likeness money to make this happen? I did not, per se. I did not. MSU Detroit fan, Oakland should at least contend for the Horizon League since Northern Kentucky and Cleveland State have ran the Horizon League recently. You know, we've been in that discussion, played for the championship, Horizon League championship last season. Certainly had a run in with Wright State last year. So, yeah, it's going to be on and popping. There's going to be a lot of excitement around Rocket Watts and Oakland basketball. And like we said, we'll get Greg Campy out there and get him on the show here in the next couple days and see how he sees things breaking down. And my apologies here for missing this, but a critical question was asked about the Pistons. And my apologies because it wasn't a name that I'm familiar with here on the YouTube chat thread. But they did ask. The Pistons next year, Jeff, play-in game or under, i.e. under the play-in game? Your thoughts?
I think the ceiling is the play-in game, to be honest with you. I hear a lot of playoff talk, and we had our moment last week where I said, sorry to break it to you, but they're not making the playoffs. Some people had an issue with that, and that kind of surprises me, to be honest, because with this team right now, they had the third best odds to get the #1 overall pick. And you think in one season, with just by drafting somebody at 5 and trading away Jeremy, or really your second best player, you're going to suddenly just make the playoffs? It just doesn't sound likely. So I would say play-in as a ceiling. Maybe they can sneak into the playoffs, but I wouldn't be surprised if they missed the play-in, Neal. I really wouldn't.
I think it's early to draw those conclusions, right? Because we have to see the things play out.
Yeah, free agency and everything.
Yeah, I mean, free agency still. What does the DeAndre Ayton thing look like? Right. Is that going to happen? How does the draft go? And there are a couple. I think there are a couple of different lanes the Pistons can take with free agency. They can do the DeAndre Ayton thing, figure out what the sign and trade looks like, or how that all is going to work. They could also, just put your eggs in the basket of roll the dice, keep Jeremy Grant, see what happens. Maybe they value him to the point where you do sign him, because Jeremy Grant at $30-ish million a year isn't this ridiculous thing to me that it seems like to be to other people. 20-point-a-game guys in the league,
they don't grow on trees.
It's not just a given. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he's shown out to be. So that wouldn't break my heart. There's also where that avenue where I said you roll with Jeremy Grant, see how things play out. Do you trade him during the next season? There's also the lane of, and this I haven't heard this discussed. I'm always a fan of taking a look around the room and going to the usual suckers. Like anyone who's seen Moneyball. You've all seen the movie Moneyball, right? what did Billy Beane always say? Hey, call the Tigers. See what we can get from them. I feel that way about the New York Knicks, where they want to be in the free agent mix so badly, but they have those free agent vets on their books right now. And I don't have them exactly in front of me. I know Nerlens Noel is one of those guys.
Rose.
Derrick Rose is another one of those guys that's on the books.
Taj Gibson.
Taj Gibson's another
Alec
one.
Burks, we can keep
yeah,
going.
they're full of those guys, right?
Full of them, yeah.
So for me, I could see a scenario, and I haven't heard anybody talk about this. For real, no one's talked about this, so I'm claiming it as my own. And if you hear it somewhere else, you know that today you heard it here first. I think the Knicks will be in the market to move their number 11 pick to salary dump, to where they say, all right, you take a Derrick Rose and a Nerlens Noel and the number 11 pick. And we don't want anything in return. We just want out of these contracts so we can go after the Jalen Brunson. Because, Spencer, who's if it's not Dallas, which everyone thinks it's going to be,
Yeah.
where's Brunson going to end up?
He is a guaranteed New York Knicks free agent acquisition.
Oh, it's on brand.
Yeah.
It fits exactly to how they operate. And I don't care. That's fine. We never have to worry about the New York Knicks.
We're getting Kyrie and KD. We ended
Cool,
up
bro.
with
Yeah,
Emmanuel
do your-
Mudiay and Nerlens Noel.
Do your thing, New York Knicks. Do your thing, man. You always do.
Yeah.
And they're licking their chops now that Donovan Mitchell's available, and they really believe they can get him. So, to your point, Knicks feel like they can do anything.
Right. So, for me, it's their cap space. You use your cap space like Steve Yzerman uses his, where you can take back a contract like a Nicoletti type contract and say, hey, we got a lot of cap space. We can eat it all up for this year. And I don't want to say you punt on this year because you're not, but you're getting back a lottery ticket for it.
Right.
For use of your cap space that you weren't really going to use anyway. So what's the difference? Use that cap space as a weapon. The New York Knicks come to mind. So don't be shocked. And it'll be one of those trades where if it did happen like that, you would see Twitter aghast to say, you got Nerlens Noel and the 11th pick and Derrick Rose? Why? Like, you'll have to unpack that for a minute. You're taking a spin.
Absolutely. And I think along with possibly the Knicks, you have the Atlanta Hawks, who are more and more intrigued as the day goes by. They have the 16th overall pick, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they want to be in the Jeremy Grant conversation. So there's a lot of teams. I mean, any of these teams could use Jeremy Grant. It's the truth. You got a guy that's making $20 million, and he's getting paid as much as he's averaging. He's giving you 20 points per game for $20 million. Certainly someone's going to want it. Just a matter of who.
Honolulu Blue Sparty, didn't we say the playing game was a goal last year for the Pistons and that didn't happen? What's the difference next year? Well, I mean, look at the injuries. The games lost to injury. Like how many games did they have Grant, Bay, and Cade Cunningham together?
And you didn't expect Cade needing 20 games to just get his legs under him. Like, there's so many things that goes into that. So
and that would be the difference this year, Sparty, is as you look at the lay of the land, and that's the question that will have to be asked and answered by Pistons management with Troy Weaver is they have a lot of cap space this year. They have more next year. The difference is the cap space this year, there's a finite number of teams that have a lot of cap space. Next year, a lot of teams have a lot of cap space.
Right.
So this is where you see the reports of the DeAndre Ayton to the Pistons thing because they're one of few that can absorb it.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of Jeremy Grant, I wouldn't have an issue if they kept him, even that at this point. I mean, that's why I'm so interested in this draft because it's going to answer so many questions for me personally. Troy Weaver doesn't let anything out. He doesn't let nobody know what he's doing. So you don't know what direction he's taking this team. Do you trade Jeremy and get 2 first-round picks and then we're going into a team full of 20 to 23-year-olds, or do you keep Jeremy, sign a DeAndre, and now you're back in the business? Now we're talking playoffs or whatever the case may be.
Appreciate you sliding in here for DMAC today for Jeff Iafrate.
Yeah, thank you guys,
Appreciate
man.
the callers, too. All the interaction. You guys are big time, man. Love interacting with all of you guys. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. We'll be back at you tomorrow. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.